Well, hello everybody. How you doing? It's me, Paddy from across the Shuck, and you're very welcome back to the channel. And I would just like to quickly remind you, if you would please like, subscribe, and comment. It really helps at the moment. YouTube are definitely toughening up on taking subs off people. So, and if you do like and you do subscribe, watch a video for, a few minutes and get to know me and get to know what the sort of things that I do in the channel, because I'm odd. I am an odd person. I get excited very easily. But this knife that I'm going to show you today has got me excited as much as Jack Wolf did, as much as, a new GEC or a tactic. I'm going to show you a few knives that really have got me excited. And, considering like I've been doing YouTube for about 7 years and the amount of knives that have come through my channel is amazing. I've been privileged to test quite a few. This is right up there, and I mean right up there, in a knife that I can recommend, and I can. This is one of them knives that just blew my mind. I just think it is, and again, it's. I'm talking about just not showing you. You want to see the knife, don't you? Well, you'll just have to wait, or not, as the case may be. But this is from a young man called Joseph.LaPietra. I hope I've got that right. He's a Canadian custom maker. He does it part-time in a garage. Now, he has his own CNC machine. He bought himself a CNC machine when he came out of college. And for this last sort of quite a few years, maybe 6 years, he has perfected this knife to where it is now today, to where it's now going to go to market properly. And we're hoping to have a dealer here in the UK very shortly. That's gonna you're going to be able to buy this through him. But Joe's a custom maker, so he has quite a following himself. He's from Canada, but he does custom versions of this. If you contact him, and the best way to contact him is through Instagram. I'll have his name down below. There's no problem, and his Instagram account. I have drooled over this for about the last 4 days. I waited. It took such a long time to come from Canada. Then customs held it for a long time before they released it. It just went on and on. But sometimes that's customs. That's one of the things you have to put up with when you're buying a knife from outside the UK or from any country. Customs are a law unto themselves, and they can keep things or give things away at their own desire. Because this is a completely UK legal knife. Completely UK legal. And it's not... it's not a knife that I see on the main YouTube channels. There is Facebook groups all about them. You do see the odd ones. You do see cheaper versions of this knife. Now, not the same as this knife, but a cheaper version. This is a friction folder, okay? Which I can actually see. Oh, friction folder. I don't like friction folders. And a lot of people who don't like friction folders, and myself is sort of included until you've had one, don't knock them till you try them, because especially this one, this is made for hard use. You could hard use this in an EDC fashion. I'm not talking a lumberjack, but you could EDC this and you could whittle with this. You can do so many things that you can with a pocket knife. What a pocket knife's meant to do. This is not, a fixed blade. It is a proper EDC fixed blade that will do anything your other EDC knives will do, without a shadow. And I'm hoping to show you it, and we'll talk through it. So, without further ado, which has been a long time for some people I know, here is the knife. Now, first of all, aesthetically, I think it is beautiful. This one's in the carbon fiber, and it's a beautifully grained carbon fiber. Look at that. It is stupendous. This is what I happily will call an executive knife. It's not thin at all, but we're going to do the measurements on that, and we'll see what it is, and we'll do the weight on them. But this knife has got something that a lot of knives don't, and it's the X factor. And I know I'm sort of taking off a TV show, but this is it. I just think it looks aesthetically so pleasing. So pleasing. Now, let's open it. And you can open it one-handed. I just wanted to do this slow hand for you. Look at that. Look at that beautiful clip. It really is a clip drop point. You know, it's very close to a drop point, but it's also a clip point. It is beautifully done, but look at that. Just feast your little eyes on that blade. Can you see that? That's a CNC, all done by CNC, beautifully done by CNC. Look at that. Let me bring it up close and see if we can get a... This is always hard. There we go. You can see that. Look how beautiful that is done now. You, I don't think you can hear it, but you can actually feel it. And one of my first thoughts was, are you going to feel it when you're cutting? Absolutely not. It is, you know, it's all beveled down the way. So it's just, look, this is a bit of cardboard, right? And you know how cardboard, people put it up and it can be funny to cut. I am hardly holding this knife. Look at that. It is literally sliding through it with no effort whatsoever. This blade is taken down to, it's not ultra thin, you know, it's not a Jack Wolf thin, but this is more for, yeah, this knife is built to be used as an EDC knife. And when you hold it on the top, this tang, which is beautifully done, that's his maker's mark in there. It's JL, Joseph.LaPietra, sorry. I don't know where I'm getting Lafayette from. I don't speak French at all, as you can tell. But this is done, and this hasn't, if we look down in here, this is not like a lot of little friction folders where you have just a pin through construction and then it sticks into a bit of, in between two bits of plastic at this end. There's a very well-known one, and it's a fantastic one. The Schword, it's just a fantastic little rough and ready pocket knife. This is not that. This is a proper fixture. Look at the standoffs in this. And here, this is where the blade, if you can see, it'll come in. That's this part of the blade here. This curve comes in, and look what it tucks round. Look how secure that is. And then when it comes to the other side, again, this comes down on top of that. And look at the join on that. Look at that. And it's got copper washers, a good sized copper washers too, not little tiny things. It is perfectly centered. But even if you look at the jimping that's here and on the back of the tang are perfectly in line. I mean, that is just perfection. Look at that. It really is beautiful. And I have about a 3mm spine on this. Is it 3mm? Yeah, it must be about 3mm, I think. But anyway, it's about 3mm, roughly that. And it comes down to a really nice edge for cutting. Really super. I'm not going to do any more cut tests because it cuts beautifully. You see it going through cardboard. It is beautiful cutter. It comes really sharp out of the box or tube that this came in. But you still get a bit of flat up here if you want to use your fix system to sharpen it. There's not a problem. This bit of flat here is great for that. The choil is amazing. It beats the whole of this. So there's no smile at the end of it. You can see that all the way up. This is Joe's work, not mine at all. I literally haven't even had to strop this. It was just fantastic out of the box. And I have been cutting everything and anything I can cut, because my other worry is, and maybe that I know I'm going to spoil this for people who are waiting to find a fault, but this here, look, there is no marks on this. And I have gone through I've just done it in front of you there. It doesn't leave any marks, which is amazing. I thought, oh God, is it going to stick, hang up? You're going to get marks on it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I just adore this knife. The handle, I mean, it's a large, we'll do a measurement of the whole thing, shall we? I'll just get this out here, get my wee ruler out. And overall, it is about 7 1/4. So that gives you a size. That's a good size knife. But the handle is 4 1/4. Which going to give somebody with an extra large hand. I have a large hand, that's me up. Look what's coming out. So there's plenty of room for any hand size. Justin held this last night. We had Joseph on the podcast last night. If you want to meet their maker, it was a fabulous show. And he explained in detail his thought process in making the knife. He started making this when he was in his last year of college, doing his bachelor's degree in arts and jewellery and metalwork, I think. But he had designed this, and it's just been improved until it's now at the state where, he's sold lots of them, but it's now, this is his final-ish. Like Joe says, he'll never be finished, but this is the true deal now. This is the knife that he's proud to put to market properly, and I think it's going to be very successful. Honestly, this just with you put your forward finger here is beautiful, and it gives you that pinch point. You know when you get that it comes down and then it just blanches out. It gives you that perfect. So you've got protection if you're going to go straight. And I would have no problems putting this into something and doing a bit of twist. Absolutely none. Because once your hand is here, no matter how hard, I'm just going to try, no matter how hard you hit that, you'll feel it sort of moving into your thumb, but it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to come down. It's just super. There's so much pressure that I can put so much. Look at my finger, right? Let me just show you. Now that is lifted and moved a tiny little bit, but that's it. It'll just, amazing. And even the nice thing about this is if you forget and you've crossed your thumb over your other finger during the day and you can't get it on there, even if it was to come over, look where it's hitting you. It's this part. Now, it'll give you a real nasty little nip, but it'll not slice your finger open. Do you know what I mean? So it's double safe. Perfect. So take the friction folders are not dangerous when they're done correctly, and this is done correctly. The blade is exactly, and I mean exactly, 3 inches. Exactly 3 inches, and a lot shorter if you're going to the cutting edge, which is going to change eventually. So this is you're just safe. It's going to be legal in the UK and anywhere where you've got a 3 inch restriction. Um, this is non-locking, obviously, so it's just the perfect model for. And honestly, it's so slim. I mean, I have it in a quite a large pouch because, believe it or not, sometimes when you get a knife like this, putting it in a large pouch, it gives a really slim profile, but it keeps it in your pocket. It keeps it sitting up rather than riding down. So I like this pouch. Plus, I love the fact that this blows over for this sort of knife. So the handle is beautiful, really well done, just perfect. It's in carbon fiber, and they also does um, micarta. There's the green micarta, and it's so well engineered that these scales will fit on any knife. They're precision made to fit on any knife. So he is going to be able to sell scales separate. When you buy your knife, you can actually you could buy the carbon fiber for Sunday and change it to a working knife for during the week if that's what you wanted. So you're not having to buy two of the knives that you like. You've got that. Or this is my version of it, which we'll have a look at in a minute. This is just, what do you call this carbon fiber? Gone out of my head. Basket weave, not basket weave. It is out of my head. It'll come back. Anyway. Well, probably after I've done the video knowing me. But the blade itself, honestly, I can't tell you that it's such a joy to have. Now, I know other knives have done this. This is nothing, not completely new. There's other knives done this. But I just think it is stunning. It just really, really impresses me so much. Honestly, opening and closing it, if a friction folder can be Chris Reeve feeling, that's what this is. It's precision. It's not something you're going to flick at and you're not going to, but it's actually a lovely knife to just sit and footer with and put in. It's just lovely. And when it comes down, this is again, when it comes down to here and you set it down, you just give it that last little push and the tip goes right behind there, which is completely safe. But it also means that it's not going to come out in your pocket. You can't flick this out no matter how hard you tried. You would never be able to do it. And plus the fact this in the carbon fiber or in any of the models, I'm going to have in a pouch anyway. But just to let you know, you can drop this naked in your pocket. You're not going to have any worries. It is strong enough. You see the detent? It really takes quite a bit to pull that out. It really does, genuinely. So I love this. Joe himself, as if you go and watch the podcast, and I really suggest you do because he can tell you much better about his design ideas and where he's going in his knife making journey. Just fantastic. But it's the handle that'll do so many different people. from Justin's little baby hands to my, large hands, this handle is gorgeous. And this is Justin's version. And we have skin in the game. We have both paid money. Now, we didn't pay the full price, but we both paid a good price towards these knives. So it means that I'm not talking from a shill's point of view, because I did pay for it. I did pay for. Well, let's just put it like this: it's about half price we paid for ours, which is still a good price of money, and I'm really grateful that I got it for that sort of a price. Um, so I have skin in it. I do like it just because it's a knife. So, would you like to see some comparisons? Because you really can't explain how this such a lovely feeling in this handle and how comfortable it is and what sort of size it is. Well, here we go, and it's a fairly big knife. This is the latest Jack Wolf knife. This is the Barlow with that beautiful sheep's foot, ram's foot blade, and you can see that it's got a good. What has it got at the end of that? It's got a good half an inch at least longer in the handle. Actually, that wasn't even up there. So it is definitely over a half an inch. It's nearly 3/4 of an inch difference in the size of the knife overall. But in that, about half an inch difference. So this is a full knife that I get a full grip on. Absolutely full grip. It's a good, big, solid knife. And by the way, there's still some of these, and I can't believe it, this Barlow. There's still some available at Fraymar Knives. Please go. I think there's only a couple left of this version with a carbon fibre. But there's another couple there knives left. Please go and get them. Do not miss out on this one. I mean, this is probably one of the best working knives. A Barlow. It's the only Barlow that he does. It's fantastic. Absolutely. And that blade again. And this is something about this blade, that blade. This has got the hand rub satin finish, which is absolutely gorgeous. Now my favourite of the Jack Wolf. But then for me, look at that. That just goes, oh, really hard to get a picture of this. When you put it further away, it's, oh, there you can see it. If you put it further away there, it is just stunning. So that's what I'm going to put this against. That's a hell of a thing to put it against. I meant to say, what weight is it? Let's give you a weight. I'll take the Jack Wolf over there, and I'll give you a weight on this knife. It is 1.9 for the carbon fibre, and for the micarta, it's 1.9. So they're about the same weight. So I'm not taking that knife away. That's staying. That's going. So I mean, and there is, like, let's say as collectors, right? You get knives during the year. You probably get two knives that really just stand out to you, that you really want in your collection. Two real pieces. Well, I do. I like to have at least two really good pieces from each year. Lots of others that maybe come and go, but like last year, or up until now, this was just last month, but this has been the standout Jack Wolf for me because it's just such a useful utilitarian blade. Also, last year I got this Medford. And again, you got that same sort of blade size. This is a bigger blade size than a lot of these. But I got this Medford multi-tool. This got me excited, completely excited. Jack Wolfs always do. I mean, there's my GEC, one of my favourite GECs in 440C. I haven't told you what the blade steel is in this. I haven't told you. The blade steel in this is 20 CV on a friction folder, on a very, very smart friction folder. 20 CV. Absolutely stunning. Here's another one that I got that really, really excited me. It's got milling, but as a different category. This is a tactile turn. And again, it's always hard to see it. This is beautiful milling on this, but my camera is just not picking it up. Anyhow, this really, the slimness of this and the comfort in hand really shocked me. And this is one of my favourite nights when it came out. Another one from just recently, I got this buck in micarta. This is in S30V, but just a beautiful little slip joint. All these are just slip joints that are beautifully made that I've got in my collection, and I can't see them moving because I do like a higher end slip joint. Make no bones about it. I love my Rough Riders. I love all sorts of other knives, case knives, but I do like my higher end slip joints. And this I've just recently got. This is the Spyderco Little Native. Instant favourite as well. Beautiful covers on it. Nice clip it came with. I bought this second hand. But none of them, have got me, well, except like Jack Wolf and Medford, probably the two that really excited me before I got to see them in hand. But this has equally got me as excited as them, and that's a big claim. That is a big claim because, all joking aside, Jack Wolf are one of the best made knives I've ever had. Full stop. Not even a debate in my head. It's one of the best made slip joints I've ever had. This is definitely the best friction folder I've ever handled. And I have had a few over the years. I've got a couple here, but here's one that a custom maker in South Africa, Karoo. Lovely little, what a side companion for that. This is in a different type of micarta, but it's black sort of paper micarta. Beautiful little side kick to that there. Fantastic. Because this is a big knife to come out. It's a big knife. Now, it's not, I don't think it's, threatening in any version because of the way you take it out. It's more like a straight razor, than a knife. I suppose that could be threatening. But there's, I've got an option. I've got something to go with it now, I have to say. And I like having that. Options are brilliant. So again, there was the green micarta. Burlap micarta is the one that I got. It was the only one he had of these two. And he only mentioned it in passing, and I knew I've got to have that. Burlap micarta, absolutely stunning. I really do like that. So there's all three, sorry, together. If I put that on top of there, do you see the difference? There you go. And these are all number 15 hex bits. And if you actually want the tool to remove it, a little L-shaped bar that you can get. Have I got it here? I might have it. Oh, yes, I have. If this is something you want, Joe puts this in the package if you want it. Now, a lot of us have our own tools and we don't need it. But there is people around who maybe this is their first venture. So they're all number 15. And that's what that is. Perfect. And that will come with it if you want it. He'll give you the option. But come on. That is a great start. And again, because he's making this, and literally is in a garage, it's his father's garage, he doesn't live there, he has to go to it to go to work. He works part-time as well in a knife shop, so he's very knife savvy. So he's coming from a good place to be a knife maker. He sees and tries all sorts of knives. And I just think he's hit a gap in the market that has never been filled, in my eyes, never been filled in an EDC knife like this. Or I've never seen one. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen one this good in an EDC knife. And I think it's a real, this is the time to get in with Joe, in my eyes. This is the time. Really lovely time to get in. So we have that one and that one. But we're going to talk about this one. In fact, why not? We can talk about these two. They're two beautiful pieces of cutlery. This came in a tube. I'm not sure if this is going to be the final packaging, but it come with a tube. No artwork or anything. I mean, this is somebody who's working part-time, making knives, trying to make a living. And the nice thing about it, for the quality of this, for the materials he's used, and for the fact that he had, he's got to recover the cost of CNC machine. So, I mean, this is not coming to you as this is not a rock bottom price. But these are going to come in under £200. We're hoping here in the UK about sort of, let's roughly say 170. That's where he's hoping. And it all depends on him and Frank sort the finances out. That's nothing to do with me. So to me, to get an imported knife for 170 in this quality is just out of this world. And give or take £10, £20, I don't know what it's going to be. So we'll leave that to Joe, and you can contact him and speak to him. He's selling them now. If you want them, he'll sell them direct to you. You're obviously going to, pay that. Well, you have to write in that you're paying a customs charge. But again, if you want to get in the start and get one, I'm not, because I honestly believe once these come into Frank's, these are going to go like hotcakes. The people that have just already said, that's one of mine, I'm having that, I'm having that. Countless people that have said it, that have showed it to. And this knife here is going to Frank at Fraymar Knives. He's going to have a look at it, and we want him, not that he's thinking, we want him to be the seller in the UK, because he is a good, reliable mama's and papa's store, or corner shop as we call it in the UK, where everybody knows him. He's been there for years, and he has a reputation that is surpassed by nobody. It's a great reputation. So we're hoping that he's going to come on board with it. But if not, things will get sorted out. But Joe will sell you one now, and he'll post it to you now. There's not a problem. And I mean, scales, you can talk to him. He's a custom maker. He'll tell you what he can do, what he can get. Again, being a smaller custom maker, sometimes you're limited on what you can get. Or if you have to get something that's really out there, you're going to have to pay for it. It's not like a big company that'll buy sheets and sheets. As a custom maker, you're going to pay for just an individual block. But he seems to be really easy paid for what's gone into this. And even this last lot of years, finessing this is unpaid to him. You don't get any pay for that. That's something you have to just put in your own time. And he hasn't put it into the price, I don't believe. I think this is a completely fair price. As long as it's under 200, I think it's a really fair price for 20 CV, micarta or carbon fibre. That's a really, really fair price for an excellent work knife. And I honestly, I've cut so many boxes up. It's unbelievable. I've tried to cut up everything I can. I've even done a bit of wood, just do shavings off wood. Absolutely beautiful. This may look absolutely beautiful, but it's a tough little cookie. It's not a fly-by-night knife. This is not something you want to set up in your hearth place. If you don't want to, you can use this knife, and I am definitely going to use it without a shadow of a doubt. So there's what we got at the moment. If you're interested, please contact Joe, even if you want to ask him questions. But I'll honestly say, the podcast last night, he got asked so many questions and he answered them in full. Something he has in common with Ben, and it seems to be people who have the drive to get perfection in their business have that ability to be able to answer your questions. And I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Really do. So go and watch the podcast. It was last night. It's just an hour at last. It was just so informative and exciting to hear a young up and coming knife maker who has got a fantastic future if he keeps making knives like that. So there you go, nearly half an hour again. I know I keep saying I'm going to be shorter, but I can't. When you get something this good, I want to tell you how good this is. Same as I've done with Jack Wolf, I got overexcited. But it's overexcited in the right way as far as I'm concerned. I just enjoy being able to bring you something like this. So take care, everybody. Thank you very much. Keep looking out for it. There'll be plenty more of me coming with it and doing cut tests and things like that. I really want to test it out completely. So there you go now. Bye-bye. Paddy's gone. Thanks very much for watching. Go and speak to Joe. If you can afford to pay for it delivered, why not? Why wait? Why wait till it comes here? Go and bloom and buy it. That's what you work your money for, and there's no pockets in the shroud. Bye-bye.